Hello, welcome back to the Brightworks. When's the last time that we've gotten a chance to take a look at a 4v4v4v4? No, it's a lot. That's a 4-team FFA, a 4-team free-for-all here. I certainly can't remember the last time, but I think it's about time we freshen up our look at this kind of a match. I'm really excited to see what goes down here. I guess we're due for 4 intros, huh? What am I going to call these colors? I guess we've got blue, red, green, and yellow. We'll go with yellow. It's orange or yellow. Yeah, we'll go with yellow. I guess we better get to it because there's a lot to cover here. A lot of teams to cover. Tenebos going to be representing our blue team, our French team? Wow, all Frenchmen. Very interesting. Bonifique. Je m'appelle Le Brightworks. Let me know down below how my French is. But Tenebos is going to be representing the blue team leader here. 26 true skill. And going for a bot lab in the corner of the map. Very interesting. Very, very far out position. Interested to see what that position is going to offer as far as strategy goes. These are nice big flat fields here, so vehicles are going to be very, very nice. Where bots might be a little bit better on the hard rock up here. Hard rock. Spawning in the southeastern corner for the red team. Nope, not you. There it is. Linkerstown. Linkerstown going to be representing our red team here with the red Cortex Commander. Going for a bit of air power. We've already got an air lab out and about. That's quite interesting. Going for an air start. Quite unique. We'll talk about this map in just a second. Don't you worry. But for now, let's meet our green team. Our green team leader spawning in the southwestern corner. We have Guano. Guano, the residue of a bat. Well, bat's misadventures through their cave. I always wondered why bat feces got its own name. There must be some unique property to it or something like that. We already have an artillery cannon planned out here, a gauntlet. We're going to try and siege across the gap, maybe. That's quite interesting. And finally, spawning in the northwestern corner for our yellow team, we have Thymos. Thymos going to be bringing out a vehicle lab, and I think that's definitely a great decision here. We're on this nice big flat terrain. You can see the grass is nice and flat. Whoa, you can even step through it right there. As you can see, the Cortex Commander happily marching along. Look at this happy little guy. How could you be mad at a fellow like that? La da da da, la da da da, la da da da, la da da da, la da 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 da. Just marching along, making his way downtown, going fast as faces past. He is homebound. Construction vehicle is out as well, and we are ready to get to work here. Not sure this one had to go all the way over here. That was interesting. Units out on the field. Whoa! Crazy battle going on over here. Linker Storm goes down, takes down a friendly commander. Wait. Hold on. What's happening over here? We've got N2G dropped a commander. It looks like 2 commanders, actually. R-Dog dropped their commander as well as... Or no, Achille dropped their commander, as well as N2G, in order to take out Linkerstown's base over here. Linkerstown apparently learning for the first time that you cannot degun commanders, and so did get caught, unfortunately, and now all this metal is lying out here on the field. If we take a quick glance, we can see, surely, eventually our magnificent superpowers will kick in here. And anyways, that's going to be 2,500 metal for the blue team to eat up. I would love to see some of that sent back to the team. Looks like we are going to start eating it eventually anyways. And that is quite nice. I missed who had the first units out on the field because I was busy trying to figure out what the heck just happened. But I think I'm going to have to give the aggression to the blue team regardless. Because, man, they just took out an enemy commander. One of the higher ranking commanders of the red team, too. Bunch of grunts in the back line. This is quite annoying. They do get a metal extractor and they shut down a whole bunch of these solar panels. That's a real pain. Grunts having a showdown here, a western showdown. Got to clear the boards here for you. And we can see more and more blue units being pumped out by Tenebos in the back line here. Whoa, these are all 3.1 metal extractors in the back here, whereas all of these are just 1.5. Interesting. So the low ground metal extractors are worth quite a bit more than the high ground metal extractors. That is something pretty interesting. The center of the map also worth quite a bit more. A little bit of vehicle madness over here. We're pushing through with a couple of these blitzes. Trying to get a little bit of work done. The yellow team aggressing towards the green team. So far, it's just the north versus the south. We're just pushing forward, or pushing downward, I guess I should say. as the yellow team goes towards the green and the blue goes towards the red. Legion Commander, who is playing a Cortex Commander this time around, going for that forward defense. We're really worried about fortifying this spot, even though there's already an infestation in our backline. You can see, now our superpowers have kicked back in, and we're going to find these commanders. We're actually resurrecting one of them, and we're eating the other. Not a bad idea at all, actually. I think resurrecting one of these commanders is going to put you in a nice spot. We're getting that bot lab up and running, so we are eventually going to be able to boost this a little bit better. We can see that there is basically no base left over for N2G. N2G is basically just focused on keeping this area claimed. We are bringing some of these res bots over as well to try and help out this process. Eventually, we're going to be picking this commander back up at a pace. You can see it takes 69 energy, and that is quite nice to pick this commander back up per second. Each of these using about 34 energy. I guess it's more like 34 and a half. But it won't take long for this commander to be back up and in the game. I'm assuming the commander is going to go to Achille, who was the one who lost their commander in all this. But I'm not quite sure. Taking down these metal extractors is quite nice because these are high-value metal extractors, so these are worth a whole lot more dead than the ones that are up on the hill. Very nicely done by the blue team to make sure that the aggression stays hot. Now we have Resbots pumping energy into this commander, trying to get it back up on its feet. A little less than halfway done. We have tons and tons of these Resbots working on this, though, so eventually this will this will go up easy as cake. 54, 55, 56. Yeah, we should be up in a couple of minutes here. If that, probably more like seconds, couple seconds. Our dog being sure to fortify the heck out of this middle ground here. I'd love to see these this middle of the map area claimed. I honestly feel like these metal extractors could be worth even more than 3.1. Get these put up to like, oh, I don't know, 4.2, or maybe one metal extractor that's worth 6 or something like that. Just so that it's really, really valuable to contest that. At this point, Rinwin is in a really precarious spot. They've got an air lab out and they've got a bot lab out, but they've got basically no economy, as it's been completely trashed by all of these blue grunts that have been pushing forward here. Now, interestingly, Linkerstown is rebuilding, so very, very, very kudos to them for managing to get a foot back into this game. We see this gauntlet was finished, and so it is sieging over here. There's only one metal extractor in range of it, so is that really worth it? I'm not sure. But certainly it is threatening. At this point, the grunts are becoming quite a problem. Continuing to push forward here. Although a lot of them are being mopped up by the defenses. This one manages to stick itself in an inconvenient spot. So it will only be killed by the molecular disassemblage of a T1 construction bot. Man, these games get hectic so quick. We already see a tech transition from Thymos back here. It is a vehicle tech transition, a Cortex T2 vehicle transition, which is a bit interesting. We don't usually see that as the first vehicle transition on the map. Looks like we're going for a T2 bot lab for a T2 Cortex bot lab for Hassanma. That's very nice to see. Better, I think, than the Cortex vehicle lab, especially considering all this high ground terrain you have to deal with. We also see a T2 air lab for Orange Ink. Ah, interesting. Very nice name, actually. Reminds me of Orange Box. The orange team, or sorry, is it the red team? Yeah, sorry, this is the red team. The orange player on the red team is doing a good job of keeping Rinwin here safe and secure. We're actually evacuating the commander away here, and we're just going to sort of abandon this position, it looks like. Achille, his commander, has moved out into the front lines here. I guess we're going to use this commander like the de facto bomb. And we're just going to eat up this other commander. Maybe we're going to go for some tech, perhaps. We've got some bombers out in the field. Interesting. Blue team showing us that they are not afraid to get down and aggressive here. And this has got to be tons of metal. Yeah, 2,000 metal, 2,500, a little more, a little less. Spiking up here. Up to 3,000, all said and done. And yeah, whoever can get their hands on it, and currently it looks like the answer is going to be the blue team, is going to have a tremendous economic lead here. You see the stream of bots is never ending as we just continue to pump them out here in the back line. We actually can't even spend our resources fast enough, so I'd love to see more build power, more scaling, more. That's the name of the game. Rocket bots pushing forward here to finish off Linkerstown. Nowhere is safe for this Cortex commander as the rocket bots begin their siege, tearing down the production facility of our red player here. Whoa, commander bombs here. That's 2 gifted commanders going down right there. Looks like that was Antsi's commander, as well as Ringwind's commander. And it looks like Linker Storm, whose base has been demolished by these Rocketeers here, as well as as well as Ringwind, rather, have both decided to tap out of the game. Bombers now, harassing the red team right to death. Very, very dangerous stuff. We see a bit of a 3-way fight here. Xeno Dragon engaging with R-Dog, but there's also artillery shooting over from Master Devil. Man, this is getting so hectic so quickly. The bombers are trying their best to kill this commander at the moment. I personally would go after these windmills first and these advanced solar panels, but the grunts are moving in, and they're going to be more than happy to start fighting this commander here. At the moment, they're actually just going to tear down production. Some decent D-guns, very nice. We do bomb the windmills eventually, that's very good. And the T2 lab is not going to be coming up anytime soon. Construction bot survives with 1 health. The bombers just barely miss it. The first one does. Ooh, the second one does too. With 7 health to its name, it will continue to survive. Achilles starting to resurrect the remains of this base. Rather interesting. I would have assumed that we're just going to eat this one up. And with that, we have the first team knocked out of the game here. Commander for the red team, the orange commander for the red team went down. And finally, the blue has wiped away the southern side of this map. Now, Xeno Dragon has done a good job of building these light laser turrets and using his tools to push forward and break this static defense line for our dog here. Artillery is raining down from above. Eventually this line will be driven back. But with this metal advantage, I don't see how the blue team doesn't win the game here. All that metal can be thrown back to the team and we can use it to fund a huge tech transition. We can probably jump up to T3, or at the very least get some T3 economy up and running. Yeah, we are resurrecting all these units. Interesting. We're going to be putting back together a massive grunt army here. Orange Ink has made sure to build up a nice little air force, so we do have some fighters out. We have a scout plane coming up, I did see. A scout plane is already out, rather. We have some gunships coming out as well. Those are going to be quite nice. Quickly, this has turned into yellow and green versus blue. Good luck versus 4 pre-made that rely on cheese tactics to win. Interesting. Looks like there's a little bit of complaining in the chat. Yeah, I do notice that the blue team's true skill values are all quite a bit higher than everyone else's here. I wonder if the balance was turned off for this. We were just doing some sort of a team game or something. I would humbly request that anyone, if you're in a spectator, keep your chats in the spectator lobby. It's no fun for everyone else to have to spend their APM reading your chats. I'm the kind of person that when there's a chat box on the screen and people are typing into it, I can't pull my eyes away. I just have to look at it, and sometimes that really screws me over. We can see that this army has now been patched back together by Achille here. We also have a bot lab producing stuff as well, although it is only producing Grave Robber at the moment. But this army is starting to grow pretty sizably here. See, there's tons of grunts, 85 grunts, and they could definitely swarm all over the map here. I think actually if the blue team just continues to be aggressive, at least down south, definitely we could see a little bit more of a push here. Artillery siege right here in the middle of the map. This border over here with yellow, between blue and yellow rather, has basically been uncontested. I think if Thymus had put more pressure on this side of the map, it definitely would have forced blue to react differently, and then the orange team, or the red team rather, would have been spared a little bit, or they, at the very least would have been taken out a little bit slower, just based on the fact that when those forces were pushing over here, there would have been something coming in the back lane, so reinforcements probably would have been coming in through a different avenue. Let me know down in the chat, by the way, if you're a French speaker. Let me know. Give me a spark notes of what the conversation is going on. Although I'm just assuming that most of this is probably just just call-outs and mundane stuff. Oh, an ambassador is parked up here. The rocket launcher in order to rain down hellfire missiles from above. So that is always lovely to see. Gunships are out. They're going to start doing some good work. Gunships are a really good option here. They do a little bit of AoE with their attacks, so they can definitely, yeah, they can definitely pick apart these little grunts with relative ease here. Each of those shots doing about maybe a third of the health of a grunt. And so for what it's worth, it's definitely definitely a decent option for stunting the flow here, halting the flow of this this army pushing through. I'd love to see some D-guns here out of Master Devil. You can definitely connect a few of those and wipe away large swaths of this army. There we go. Very nicely done. Those are great. Excellent D-gunnery. Ooh, nice. Cut all of those ones pushing forward there. Master Devil looking like he's in a little bit of trouble here. The gunships are up in the sky, and they're taking down whatever they can. They're just not incredibly fast. They also appear to be... oops, that's not the command I meant. This is the one. Here we are. Yeah, they're move commanded rather than fight commanded. I would love to see them switched over to that fight command. Alright, and there's the last of the grunt. Couple Rocketeers here, but yeah, those will be light work for those gunships. And meanwhile, Achille just decides to fortify up this this flank of the map, choke up on it, and make sure that nothing can break through. At this point, Thymos has almost got a fusion reactor up and running. We are almost ready for a proper T2 economy. I think at this point I would rather see a lot of these turrets stop producing this tank and just focus everything they got into putting this fusion reactor up. Also some energy converters. Oh, we do have energy converters back here. Okay. That's quite nice then. Fusion reactor comes in, and that's going to about double the power capacity of this entire production facility here. You can see immediately we're able to actually spend our metal almost right away. That is really nice here. We're going to start up another fusion reactor, and I think that's probably a good idea. We've also got a fusion reactor here for Lancillion, stepping up the power needs, stepping up the power production rather, as power needs grow. We're going up to T2 vehicles here, which is quite interesting. And we've also got some bombers on the production queue. So the yellow team is not idly standing by. They definitely have big plans. 2.5 thou metal left over on the battlefield here. And it's about to be a little bit more as this thug falls. Ooh, the artillery reduces it to rubble, though. And cuts down on that metal from 2.7 to 2.6. Oh, the green team sends in a lightning tank here to actually probe the defenses. And it finds that there's actually a ton of units here. So green and yellow are sort of locked in this stalemate against blue here. Blue with a commanding lead, though. Definitely going to be very dangerous to deal with. T2 units are out and about on the field. We have anti-nukes coming up. That's quite nice. Fortunately, no one has thought about doing any sort of nuclear rush here. Oh, I take it back. We do have a nuke coming up, actually. It's going to be a while, though. We don't have the metal right now to fund this. Maybe we could eat up these windmills. Maybe we could eat up this bot lab. But otherwise, we are just going to be producing this, and it should come up in a couple minutes here, 2 or 3 minutes. We already have a Mercury up. I just saw the Mercury missile fire. I'm not sure where from. Somewhere around here. Right here, right in front of my face. Yeah, Mercury missile is out, and it's able to fire at these initial aircraft that are being produced by the light blue player N2G. And that's quite nice. It's going to be passively tearing down whatever air wall, whatever air force they start building up. I will say the northern side of the blue team looks a lot stronger than the southern side, although a lot of this is actually undefended. Like, there's this big key central defended position right here. But this is mainly just light laser turrets over here, so a couple of T2 medium tanks, or T2 assault tanks rather, these Tigers, they could easily break through this line, head back here. We can see T2 unit production being turned on if we needed to, but at the moment it's unnecessary. Down on the southern side, I mean, again, light laser turrets, we've got light defenses. If you made some spiders or some termites or something like that, you could wipe through this entire half of the map and cause uncountable devastation. I think that would be my go-to here. The ambassador here being sure to demonstrate its destructive powers by launching its missiles wherever it can. Finds a target in the fog of war, decides to fire. Launches that long-range missile. Really powerful stuff. Whoa, a bunch of bombers show their hand. Ah, they do take down the blue commander here. Our dog's commander goes down. Oh, that's a huge cluster of units. That would be an ideal bombing target right there. You get some really tremendous value. Oh, we were thinking about it. Oh, the units move back underneath it. Oh, very nice hit. Really nicely done there. Read them like a book, and now the gunships are moving forward. This is tricky. These gunships are like a seafoam blue, but they're actually part of the green team, not part of the blue team. Colors had to be divided here, and this is the line that they cut it off at. You can see these gunships working in the back line here. They've torn down a bunch of these metal extractors. Tenebos' commander actually in a whole lot of trouble. There's some light turrets here, but they're not going to be worth very much in order to shoot down these gunships. These are T2 gunships, and they got a lot of health. Commander does go down, and luckily for the blue team, it does mean that these gunships are going to be shot out of the air. But still, that is one commander down, and if they just snipe 2 more, the blue team is going to be in a really rough position here. Oh no, sorry. It looks like they're actually resurrecting commanders all over the place. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do we have any more? 5. There's one there. It says 6 up here, but I can't find. Tenebos' commander back here. Okay, never mind. They're actually in a really good position here. They've been abducting commanders and resurrecting them wherever they can. So that's actually very nice. Mauser has been pumped out and brought to the front lines here as sort of a, well, as a siege unit. Not sort of a siege unit. It is the siege unit. Spec sheet OP. Yeah, we got a lot of spectator shenanigans going on in this one. Certainly not the cleanest spectators game that I've ever seen. That's okay though. We have artillery and ambassadors and rockets and all sorts of devastating effect raining down on these poor grunts down below. Shurikens come in for the paralyzation station. They stun a couple of these. Stun a couple more. Why not? Light laser turret wall starts to get to work here. Easily dismembering a whole bunch of these grunts. The paralyzed one's sweeping in, and it spreads out this attack, turns it into more of a flood. Or turns a flood, rather, more into a stream. And, yeah, they are not long for this world. Oh, this one's really gonna get it. Oh, except that the first missile misses. The second missile hits. And that grunt does not survive long. Here's that T2 push that I thought should probably have happened a little while ago. Luckily now we do have some hounds out to try and deal with this, although it's still not an ideal answer. We need to see probably fiends are the best option to handle this right now. Just because we need something quick and effective. And that's basically everything the fiend is. One of these hounds go down. Those hounds are really, really critical here. They're basically the only thing you have that can contest these T2 tanks. And barely at that. You can see they do about 5% damage per shot, so they're really, really ineffective here. This T2 push has actually completely devastated Blue's production center back here. A lot of the economy was counting on this this facility being up and running here. Tenebos does move the commander back to here, and probably going to be trying to get some D-guns. Gets one, almost D-guns his own sumo on accident there. A lot of these units are paralyzed from a spy bot detonation, and that is very nice. That's going to be a really clean D-gun. Oh, there we go. Nicely mopping away all of those units, but the T2 facility has already gone down. The damage is done, and we're probably going to see these tanks continue to push forward on this right-hand side. Tenebos is now in a very precarious position. There's not a whole lot that they can do in terms of building more units here. We have a T1 or T2 bot lab over here, rather. Oh, we had a T2 bot lab over here. Gets completely sniped away by a long-range plasma cannon, a Basilica firing away across the map as far as it can reach. Wow, that was really nicely done. Suddenly the blue team's advantage has turned on its head here. One of the green players, the, what color was it? Well, guess I can't tell now, but the Guano player has decided to tap out. I think they were playing over on this side over here, one of these two sides, so must have been over here at some point. Bombers start to rain down on top of this poor sumo. Absolutely devastating it over here. This nuke has been built. It is not charged yet. Oh, it looks like it was charged at one point. Where did it land? Ah, it wiped away all this facility right here. You can tell by the massive crater in the earth. Apologies for missing that. But yeah, it looks like apparently a nuke did go down and wiped away one of the blue players. The green team put a nuke right in the blue's face, and then with this yellow push, blue has been set back quite tremendously. Are we going to get this? We will eventually get the anti-nuke here, meaning this area is slightly exposed. There is luckily an umbrella over here, the mobile anti-nuke bot for the Armada faction. And we have another anti-nuke set up over here as well. So we're sort of covered, but it does mean we're just a little bit more exposed. At least for the moment. This nuke was targeting something. Looks like we're targeting over here, and there's not anti-nuke in this area, so... yeah, this nuke could definitely do some damage. Wow, look at that explosive radius right there. I would love to catch this as soon as it comes out of the tube here. At the risk of missing this push over here, I'm going to spectate this because I want this for a thumbnail. The greed. Man, these things are so cool. I love the little design on these, the little red dots and the little red... The little red flares on the side of them, the little lights and everything. Just an absolutely awesome unit. You see the slight mist coming off of it too. And there it goes. Nuclear annihilation at your fingertips. Looks like this push hadn't gotten too far. Ooh, it does take out a whole bunch of those resbots though. But this is where it all happens. Boom, and there goes the rest of Blue's production at the moment. Yeah, suddenly the blue team is hurting really bad. What was a tremendous lead has suddenly turned into a pitiful downfall. Oh, second again. Yeah, those spiders are pretty bad at tracking. So as long as we keep the commander moving, we should be fine. Bunch of snipers are out, and those are a decent option for dealing with these tanks, but you need to buy them time in order to fire multiple times. You also need to get them within range so they can actually shoot. There we go. Start firing away, chipping off large portions of the health of these units here. Very, very nicely done. Pulsar also contributing. Nice laser beam of doom. But the tanks do manage to push through, and they catch a couple of these snipers. Every sniper they take down is a huge hit to the Blues' power here. Yeah, and damage is being done. Only 2 snipers remain over on this right-hand side, and that is absolutely critical. These rocket spiders over here have also been doing a ton of damage, tearing down whatever defensive structures they can find, launching their long-range missiles out and about at whatever they can. Well, that was interesting. Those rockets veered upwards. Yeah, these rocket spiders doing a tremendous job here. Anti-nuke is coming back up and online here. This anti-nuke is being resurrected as well. We're really worried about getting nukes, which is fair. After most of your base has been completely eviscerated, that's a fair thing to be worried about. It looks like absolutely the blue team has been routed here by the yellow team and the green team working together. Another round of gunships is moving out, and we can see that they are eager to do some work here. They start tearing down any metal extractors they can, making sure that the blue team doesn't have any chance of rebuilding their economy. While they may have tons of commanders, they won't have the metal to fund any kind of expansion here. We can see Twitchers trying their very best to pump out as many resbots as possible. Resbots at the moment trying to get this fusion reactor back up and running. It's the only efficient sort of energy production that we can build at the moment, aside from going for something like a massive field of solar panels, or windmills rather. What I'd love to see is these gunships stick around and just dumbfire at this corpse for a little while to reduce it to rubble so that it cannot be resurrected. At this point, you've seen those commanders get resurrected multiple times. You have to start thinking, okay, maybe something isn't working here. They keep getting back up. Let's start killing them for good here. N2G has hit a commander over here, oddly enough. Wow, that plasma shot flew halfway across the world in order to hit over here. The Basilisk with a tremendous, I mean, an absolutely devastating range here. Look at this. Just, it could tear apart the entire facility over here. Some really placed shots from those long-range plasma cannons can be tremendously devastating. I've definitely got to work on incorporating those into my gameplay. Another nuke is launched, and we'll get to see it here. Oh, we won't get to see it. The anti-nuke was launched in time in order to stop it. Must have been targeting somewhere within this yellow circle, as the anti-nuke isn't charged over on this end. We've continued to scale here. We now have 2 advanced fusion reactors up and running, plenty of energy converters as well, and we are bringing out the Karganath. Really dangerous unit here. It's a spider with dual rocket launchers, dual multiple launch rocket systems on each arm. And yeah, those things can do devastating work here. Master Devil going for the wall cannon. Ambitious project, but I suppose if we get this thing up, it could be a game ender. That's an odd first target. We're going for this area, which we really can't even hit. I would have thought we would go for the yellow team here. Maybe fire into their back line, or wipe away the top of the map. Maybe get the blue team too, since we're entirely in range of this cannon. But no, I guess we're just going to settle for the light laser defenses. Why not? The laser defenses, which our grunts are doing a phenomenal job of burning down here. And we see this stream of units beginning to push in here. More and more units are devastating this middle ramp section. All these Tiger tanks jumping on top of Sheldons, and this is a really expensive unit, or a really expensive army rather, to lose, especially considering how far the blue team has been knocked backwards here. From a tremendous lead, owning almost half the map, falling all the way back to being contested to their local corner. Things are not looking good here for the blue players. Orange Ink making sure to use these grunts to scout around. Check and make sure that there's no remaining traces of blue in this corner of the map. It will be good for them to see that there is not. There's no chance of blue popping up anymore. At least not anytime soon. The blue team is focused more on producing units here, but I think it's a little too late, as there's already so much out on the field that was destroyed here. Tenebos is doing a decent job of rebuilding here, but it's really hard to come back into this game. We're starting up more build power. That's absolutely the right move here. We are starting up more T2 constructors. We got the advanced metal extractors here. These are actually exploiters. These are the armed ones. Well, this one is. These two are just regular ones, but this one is the advanced exploiter, which shoots a little laser beam and also fires these pretty devastating rockets. My tanks are dumb. Why can't they go up any of these ramps? Yeah, that is the tricky part about this map. Those ramps can be misleading. I think this one they can go up, but they can't go up any of these ones on the actual gray here. Long-range plasma cannons being absolutely annoying as all hell. Firing at whatever they can find over here. Their DPS isn't high, but their spike of damage is really annoying to deal with. At this point, grunts have actually waddled all the way through the southern side and into the back line here. Achilles' commander, or at least one of them, is in really rough shape here, and it gets sniped by a long-range plasma cannon. Wow. Things are starting to look bad. We do see a dragon being built here. Those dragons, when they get up in mass, it's really hard to shut them down. We see a bunch of these tanks pushing through as well. The armed metal extractor starts firing its laser, but that is a lot of T2 tanks, certainly too much for a single advanced exploiter to deal with here. As their barrels swing around to deal with it, yeah, it will fall pretty quickly. Although I guess it's not the main target right now. We're more concerned about the T2 lab and the other exploiters. The other metal extractors here. Tenebos in a pretty rough position, being sent back to the Stone Age once more here. More and more units flooding in. The Seafoam player for the green team pushing forward. Ardog calls GG as the Karganaths show their hand over here on the eastern side of the map, the northeastern side of the map. Easily devastate all of this defensive line. These rocket bots also pushing up in sync and tearing down this entire production facility. Now, luckily, these were paralyzed by a spy bot here. It's going to buy you crucial time to surround these and get some damage done. More spy bots are out too, so we can continue to paralyze these, and that's actually a very nice response to this otherwise fatal push here. At this point, the green team has just unilaterally decided not to fight the yellow team, which is quite interesting. On one hand, it's well, it's nice that the you know, they're working together. But on the other hand, this is a tenuous relationship at most. We can only see this lovely partnership extend so far before it devolves into bloody warfare. Another of Achilles' commanders in a lot of trouble here. And it will go down, leaving the blue team with just one commander remaining. It's N2Gs, and it's cloaked, and it's hiding right in the middle of this facility. It'll be the hardest to get to, but if they can kill that one commander, the blue team will go up in smoke. Let's crank up the speed here, as it looks like aggression is starting to halt. The yellow team is just producing, or the yellow player rather, excuse me, is just producing more and more Karganeth. I don't think that's a bad decision whatsoever. I think definitely having these available is going to be really, really powerful. But some rocket spiders do decide to change targets here and go after the green team. They will make it up here, destroying the bulwark, and also destroying this overseer. This is actually the main production facility of this player. Whoa! Sorry about that. Looks like we were having a little pause here. And yeah, wow, the base of Hassan Ma has actually been really quickly torn down by a bunch of rocket spiders, as well as this pulsar, which was actually able to shoot out into this base. Really far range pulsar. We have long range plasma cannons as well, firing on this base. We're starting up more and more of these deflectors here, the overseers, in order to keep our base safe from the long range plasma fire. We're really counting on this Ragnarok to come up, and for what it's worth, it's actually almost done. We're about, yeah, a little less than 3/4 of the way through it, and things are starting to look pretty good. The green team is realizing that the blue team is basically done for, and we're starting to probe the defenses here. That attack from these rocket spiders were pretty devastating. They did manage to wipe out a huge amount of the production for Hassan Ma here. Not a lot of the economy, but definitely the production. More rocket spiders moving in. There's not a lot of static defense here, and these rocket spiders also grant the vision that allows a lot of the long-range static defense to actually fire on this base here. We see some vanguards out and about. Those are a very powerful unit. You can always set these to their high trajectory mode, and that's an effective way to lay siege to a base from, well, orbit. It feels like. Now we've got Karganeth moving forward. One of them was resurrected to aid its brothers. We're trying to paralyze more of these with spy bots, but it looks like we've learned our lesson and are going to be keeping our Karganeth separated at least a little bit here. That spy bot found him, but it did not manage to fire in time. This one pitbull being being healed up by an army of these Lazars here in order to keep firing. And it works. It does manage to save that pitbull from being destroyed here. Now we've got a proper three-way battle, as the dragons are out and about, and those are an effective way of dealing with a lot of these T3 units. It's like certainly anything short of juggernauts or titans or anything like that. I mean, they even in great enough numbers they can even kill titans. It just takes a while. But yeah, they're a really powerful unit, and the Ragnarok is just about online. 10 seconds remaining before this bad boy is up and running, and it's going to drain this economy down to about 2,000 energy a second, or let me think. It takes 12,000 per shot, but I like to round up to maybe 13,000. So either way, we're going to have a heavy drain on our economy once we start firing this thing, but that'll be fine, because once we start firing this thing, bases should start melting. So the question is, what are we going to shoot at? I think I want a first-person view of this Ragnarok in all of its glory. Beautiful. Enter my special little mode. This thing is ready. Or are we going to point it at? Come on now. I want to see this thing fire. I am appalled that we have built a Ragnarok and have not started using it. Alright, well, I tried to give you your chance. Oh, there we go, of course, as soon as I exit. Don't tell me that's all. Come on. Firing over here, that's interesting. Is this thing just set to fire on its own here? It's on hold fire. There we go. Now we're going to appropriately start sieging this base. Boy, that took a while. Well, okay. We're trying our best anyway. The map is looking pretty split now. A nicer split than it was before, or at least a split that's a little more even, I should say. The blue team owns much less of this facility, but they have managed to claw out a couple of aphises and are holding on to their territory with a iron fist here. The blue player is starting to tech up in the backline again. We've got some advanced fusion reactors up and running, or at least one up and running. We've got some energy converters coming up as well, so eventually we're actually going to be able to claw back into this game, but it is going to take a while. Just wanted to take a quick look at these metal maps. Wow, 17,000 metal, 6,500 metal. I guess we're 42 minutes into this game, so that shouldn't be surprising. Tons and tons of Shiva walking around the southern side of the map. We can see the path they're taking. They're kind of, well, I'm not sure exactly how these are routed, actually. They're kind of going in their own cheeky little direction here. But I am surprised to see that this Ragnarok is not firing in all directions at the moment. I guess that's why. We don't really have tremendous vision of either of these teams here. You can see that as soon as we do, we start firing as fast as we can. Dismantling these plasma shields here. Punching through those with little effort. They think the Ragnarok is over here. Little do they know. All of our energy is going somewhere, and I can't figure out where. We are teching up in the back line here. We have a couple of advanced fusion reactors coming up and online. We're also starting up a T3 gantry. Yeah, it's very expensive to tech while you're firing a Ragnarok here. You can see we're using basically all of our energy at the same time. So that explains maybe why we're not firing this as consistently as we would like to. We don't have the metal to build an advanced fusion reactors or anything we can do to feed some metal in. We could eat up this T2 bot lab. We could eat up this these fusion reactors up here. There's a couple ways we might crank out a little more metal, a little quicker here. Ragnarok starts firing as a defensive option against these Titans here, shaving off a couple percent per second. But yeah, that's actually pretty good. As far as static defenses go, it's actually really good. And eventually these Titans do fall. The Titans of the army, the leaders of the yellow army there, were blown apart to smithereens by the most powerful static defense available in the game. At this point, the blue team is being left alone, and I'm pretty worried for the yellow team or the green team that the blue team is about to claw themselves back into a victory here. Yeah, Spectator said it best. Blue team might still win this. If they remain passive and they continue to not try and promote anything, they don't try and start any fights here, they certainly could just tech up to their heart's desire, and eventually they're gonna have a nice little lead here. I think this blue player in the back needs to just go for advanced fusion reactors and as many of them as possible. Just get as many of them out as possible and just start making a massive tech center in the back of the map. That way everyone in the blue team that isn't in the back line can just use the metal that they have in order to fight on the front lines. Dragons here are a pretty good counter to the Shiva, actually. Not the fastest counter, but a decent one because they're basically infinitely efficient. The Shiva marching along to the side here. They're trying to fire their missiles up onto the upper cliffs, I believe. Well, if that was their goal, and I was correct, then they failed pretty miserably. But otherwise, not very much damage done by these Shiva. This shield actually doing a tremendous job of bouncing a lot of these projectiles away from the little production center down here. And that's a lot of reclaim or resurrection. Looks like it's going to be resurrection for today. Reminds me of that scene from Monty Python, where they're all waiting in line, and they go up to the Roman guard, and one by one he goes, crucifixion? They go, yes, crucifixion. He goes, out the door, to the left, one cross each. And the next one comes in, crucifixion? Yes, crucifixion. All right, out the door, one cross each, on the left. And then another one walks in, and he says, crucifixion? He says, no, I'm free, no freedom. He goes, what? Yes, they said they granted me freedom. Oh. Well, lucky you then. Out the door on the right. Says, nah, I'm only messing with you, mate. It's crucifixion, really. Ah, he got me. And, he sent out... What am I talking about? Why was I talking about this again? I don't know. That scene comes to mind, and it plays really, really vividly. Ah, resurrection. That's right. That's what we were talking about. What will it be? Reclamation or resurrection? A resurrection. All right, one body each, out the door on the left. A lot of these dragons are looking pretty gnarled up here. A couple of them are heading back to this repair pad, and that's good to see. Wow, the air pad has 1,000 build power. It makes sense why it's able to repair these things so quickly. I think short of the dragon, like the dragon being the only option, there's basically no other aerial unit that I think is worth having the air pad for. There's just no other unit that's tanky enough to actually survive an engagement and come back and get repaired. All the other aircraft melt to too little anti-air in order to be viable to repair them. Massive economy center back here, by the way. If we start firing at that, eventually we're going to start glancing shots. Oh, Ragnarok does turn its nasty head and start firing into the blue base here. They had been spared of its wrath for so long, but eventually it cannot contain its fury as plasma shots start tearing apart this frontline facility. N2G's entire production base is torn down here. Plasma shields start to fall. Everything goes to hell. Achilles is now brutally exposed here. These advanced fusion reactors are pretty out in the open. And things are not looking good. Looks like Master Devil partaking in a bit of casual racism. We don't love to see that. that's all we don't love to see it. But what can we say? It's all in good fun. Surely no harm was felt. No harm was meant, rather. Wow. Wow, look at that. That is an army if I've ever seen one. 20 Tsar tanks, that's 33,000 metal in Tsars right there. That is a brutal army. I don't know what stands up against that army. That is devastating. Achilles, meanwhile, while I was fanboying over the Tsar tanks, has been wiped off the map. Advanced fusion reactors, or any kind of eco, really, has all been blown to smithereens in the backline here, and all that stands are a couple of advanced fusion reactors for N2G. How many juggernauts before I move in? I think you're good, man. I think you can move those juggernauts in right now. I think you've won this game. You just need to make sure that this Ragnarok doesn't swing its head around and start firing in this direction. Because the thing is, it doesn't need to shoot all the way back here. It can just aim over here, and a couple of the shots are going to miss eventually and hit the advanced fusion reactors over here. That, or they're going to glance off the plasma shields and head back there anyways. Meanwhile, on this side of the map, with virtually no defense, that was interesting. You saw those anti-air shots got deflected by the plasma shields. That's interesting. But the Tsars are rolling in. They all bounce off the shield. But it is draining this battery extremely quickly, and eventually it does go down. Well, that said, this is going to be a devastating push over here. Oh, do the Tsars see the Karganeth over here? Oh, they see him, they just can't fire at him. Ah, those rocket launchers are so devastating. Yeah, they're more than eager to fire, though. So they will all launch their rocket launchers consecutively. Oh, we shouldn't turn here, though. I think we definitely should keep moving forward. I guess we want to scare off these Karganeth. But yeah, we could just roll these Tsars into this base. And that's the green team completely wiped out here. Remember, if Master Devil's production center back here gets wiped away, the Ragnarok stops firing. And, well, he's not producing any T3 units to deal with these. I'm looking at Shiva, I'm looking at catapults, I'm looking at juggernauts. Behemoth would probably work really well too, considering how grouped up these Tsars are. Yeah, it's only going to take 1 or 2 shots, though, to chain react this entire facility. There goes the build power. There goes the T3 gantry. And there go the advanced energy converters. And in one more volley, we should probably see all of these advanced advanced fusion reactors light up. Oh man, we're going after the wrong facilities here for sure. Did we not see it? Did these just have an abysmal range? Oh yeah, they didn't see it. Okay, interesting. Those advanced fusion reactors in the corner light up, tearing down this entire production facility here, but if they take one or two more steps over here, well, they roll rather than step, but you know what I mean. They move over in this direction, they're going to find a nasty economy center, and they're going to be eager to tear it down. These Zars have been worth their weight in gold here, which is probably a lot. I have to imagine these super heavy tanks weigh quite a tremendous amount. But very luckily for Master Devil, the energy center wasn't torn down, so at the very least, the Ragnarok is still up and running. Karganeth are working on tearing down the blue players here. It's a miracle that the blue players are even still in this game here. Tenebos has been the heart and soul of this team. Although I think we should be going for advanced fusion reactors. We really ought to just be spending our metal on the most efficient energy that we can, since we really don't have much time left in this world. There's also not a big standing army here. Well, not in the southern front. This is an army of juggernauts. That's, what is our unit comp here? 4 juggernauts, 21 Garganeth. It's not bad. Oh, we are sending some juggernauts down here. That's really nice. Did you guys notice how many nuke silos I made? That's a lot of nuke silos. How many of these are charged, though? Looks like, wow, that one's got a lot of nukes in it. So some of these have a lot of nukes, but not all of them are charged yet. Looks like all of them but one are charged. Should be enough to overcome a single nuke, anti-nuke field. Maybe if we pop it down right here, or maybe right here. The problem is we need some sort of scouting, I think. If the green player manages to turn this in the right direction, like just the exact right direction, we could see a turn of game here. But it doesn't look like they're going to, and so I think this is bad looks for the green team here. Struggling to mount any sort of defense. Yeah, we need to see scout planes pumped out en masse. These grunts have been a tremendous waste of resources. Not really serving any purpose. The nukes push through here. They did not kill the Ragnarok, though. Surprisingly, it does stand. He thinks it's over here. Well, luckily it looks like the Ragnarok is still taking hits from these nukes. I wonder if the AoE splash damage will be enough to kill this thing. It will not. But it will damage it pretty badly. Ragnarok is slowly starting to pierce the shielding here. Slowly tearing away at this base. Every shot that gets through just damages the shield next to it, and the shield next to it, and the shield next to it, and eventually there's nothing left on the field. We do have tons of shuriken, though. I don't know why we don't use these as some sort of scouting device. We've also got these Karganeth putting in a wonderful view for us, letting us get plenty of vision over on this side of the map. Those nukes. Oh, they're so close, but they just can't find it. Oh, we're starting to glance those shots, like I said. Wow, this plasma deflector stays alive with 4% health. One more nuke. To find them and in the darkness bind them. Karganeth are again sweeping through the blue team here, as blue is trying desperately to build this economy up from nothing at all up to something contending, well, this. Contending this many juggernauts. We're starting to glance these shots off, though. This is really dangerous. As soon as the shields deplete here, the angle of the shot sinks down, and then it's going to be firing basically directly into the back line of this team. So this is a really dangerous spot here. Now luckily a lot of these are just glancing off in random directions. And an anti-nuke is built over here so that we can't bomb. We can't nuke back here at the very least. Carbon Weave actually doing a really good job pointing that out. Building more plasma deflectors in back, the bounce, if could really get us. Well, I understand what they're saying. Yeah, if any of these ricochet, it could be really devastating to the back line here. Now, luckily, some Titans have pushed forward and found the Ragnarok, and they will be able to bring it down. And that is the last threat of the green team here, pretty much dealt with. Dankist put it best. Ragnarok player was shooting wrong targets with it. I think if a little bit of scouting had been done, maybe just a couple of good scout sweeps, just build 4,000 scouters and send them around the entire map. I think we probably would have been in a much better position here. But luckily for the yellow team, that was not the case. And the blue team too, who was turtled up hilariously. We've retreated to the back of the map and we've just started building defenses. I mean, we could just walk the Juggernauts in. There's no reason the Juggernauts wouldn't absolutely shred all of this. Titans making pretty light work of these shuriken here. Not nearly enough shuriken to paralyze them, and they weren't spread out nearly enough either, so for the most part, it was a non-effect. Wow, we're going hard on the anti-nukes, but it's basically necessary. See, there's 11 charged in this one and 1 in this one, so we are going to need quite a few nukes if we want to just outproduce the anti-nukes here, especially considering these are Cortex nuke launchers, which do charge quite a bit slower. Lencelian says, okay, now blue. I mean, they're right. They need to address blue here. There's no... You're going to need something expensive to break through this, no matter what. It's just too many defenses at this point. You can always siege this with artillery, though. Get some Vanguard out, or get some catapults out and about. Either option is going to do tremendously in order to keep the aggression up here. Titans continuing to step forward. Ah, we do see a sweep going out now. That is quite nice. Loads of scatter planes flying around the map. Kind of a nice symmetrical pattern you can see here. Flying all over the place to get a good look at exactly where the enemy is. I think this Titan would be wise to just step down this ramp, blow up all this production, and once and for all wipe away the green team from the game. The green team is down to 1 commander, I believe. Yeah, 1 commander left on the field. How about the blue team? Blue team did manage to resurrect an extra one, but both of them are standing in the back line here, so if either of them go up, it'll basically mean the game's over. Fusion reactor lights up like a brilliant tree in the night. It goes up in smoke, wiping away all of the player up here's base, Hassan Ma. Now scouters get a really, really good look of this entire facility back here. They're probably wondering wondering why the Tsars, or maybe just thinking they wish that the Tsars had swept through this area. Would have been a quicker game, to say the least. But the Juggernauts are marching forward. This is a devastating sight to see. The player who built the wall cannon should watch the replay. Yes, Master Devil, if you're watching this, I'm truly sorry for the pain that you're going to have to go through. watching as the cannon just wasn't able to target the right facilities really is quite a pain. Whoa! Cardinet from the green team did actually manage to sneak their way around here. That's really unfortunate. Somehow they managed to get into the base of Lencelion. Luckily, we have some units here to deal with this. But yeah, they're causing a tremendous amount of pain. They're actually going to take down the T3 facility. So that is quite nice. Going to slow down that player quite a little bit. But yeah, this is game over for the green team right here, right? I don't know if there's an answer to this. Yeah, I mean, you could get the commander in there and try and degun some of these, but even still, then your commander is just going to explode. And what good have you done? So just like that, the green team is effectively wiped out of the map. We can see their economy is reduced to nothing. 3 metal per second, 150-ish energy per second. And now it is a battle between the blue and the yellow. Although it's more like the siege of blue from yellow. We can see a huge army of dragons coming out here. How many is that in total? Looks like a butt ton. An absolute metric ass ton. N2G building some forward fusion reactors. Unfortunately, looks like they will come up just in time for these fusions to find them. Oh, we are starting anti-air. A little too late though, as these dragons march forward, fly forward with their little VTOL thrusters, taking out those advanced fusion reactors here. They find this base over here, and there's not enough to stop this big a swarm of dragons. Hardly anything does, to be honest, but certainly these dragons are going to be enough to cave a lot of this defense. Oh, they find the commander uncloaked in the middle of this. Oh, he just barely cloaks in time. The dragons are trying their best, trying to tear down this advanced fusion reactor. Are they going to get it? 12, 10, 8, 5, 4. And the fusion reactor goes up, wipes away the blue team's production. There is nothing left for them now. One commander remains. N2G's commander remains here. But yeah, you can see their production is now 8 metal per second, 23-2, and they decide to tap out. Congratulations to the yellow team, clawing back from what seemed like an unwinnable game. Really pulling a rabbit out of a hat with that one and doing a phenomenal job. Great play with those dragons in the end there. I hate the dragon, but it's because it's so good. Thanks a ton for watching. Wow, you can see that eco-scaling. Yellow doing a phenomenal job of keeping up that growth. Thanks a ton for watching. I hope you had a fun time watching this. I love that 4v4v4v4 gameplay, and I will see you in the next video.